for whatever you do in your clinic, you're going to be successful, and you want to capture those leads. And if you do this, if you send out these emails and texts, even if it's a 10% response, and if you sell programs, that's going to generate income. And remember, they're all warm leads. They're not cold leads, because these people were the ones that reached out. Warm leads are easy to work with than cold ones. So overall, like in a nutshell, it's 90% marketing, 10% what you know. So some doctors are saying, well, I don't market. I'm like, then you get down to nitty gritty, no, they do, but they just don't think they do. And so years ago, when I had 75 employees, I had 30 people in my marketing department. 30 out of 75. I mean, that tells you right there how important that was. And that's why we were able to do 700, 800,000 a month in services with 2 clinics, with the MD, DC, PT. So I was kind of like before the time. A lot of doctors now were doing the same kind of thing, but with stem cells and, PRP and, IV drips and those kind of things. So, and then training these doctors over the years. And then since COVID, I mean, it's like 180 degrees different than what marketing is. And I'm going to talk a little about old school marketing and what used to how we used to do it, and then what we're doing now. And then, I still get asked to go on these cruise ships, like in Portugal, to go over there in this year, but just to talk to doctors, who doctors on a cruise ship. But I have a two and a half year old little boy, and my wife's like, oh, you can't go, leave us for 10 days. And, plus I'm seeing my own patients too. So I'm kind of doing double duty with everything. So now, old school marketing, back in the day when I started, I knocked on 5,000 doors during October, November, December. I caught pneumonia because I was outside. And even though I had pneumonia, I went out there and I still knocked on doors doing the survey. And I actually met about 2,500. And then I sent them thank you cards for their time, let them know that what I was going to do, and I will set up my office. Like I would knock on the door and say, hi, I'm Dr. Singleton. Hey, what would you think about me setting up an office here as a chiropractor here in Murray? It was Murray. And I thought, what would you think about that? So I'm doing a survey. I'm asking people their opinion. So they're actually meeting me. So they're meeting the person that they would maybe eventually go see. Because remember, patients buy the doctor. They buy the doctor because, I'm not going to go in this today, but there's this thing called the gut microbiome, and that actually has energy frequency. And so if you have good health, if you have good energy and frequency, you're going to attract a lot more people. So you got to be more healthy. The more healthy you are, the more people you're going to attract. Remember the law of attraction kind of a thing. This whole thing cost about $15,000 for all the marketing for the door hanger. So I'd go back, I'd send them a letter, send them a postcard. Thank you for your time. Thank you for giving me information. And I'll let you know if I'm going to choose this area and blah, blah, blah. And so that first day, we had 36 new patients. Of course, it took me like a week to see them all. And I was in a downstairs clinic. There were 4 of us in this building. I had the downstairs basement, and within 6 months, I was busier than all 3 clinics upstairs. Of course, you have to borrow money. I borrowed money from my grandma, 18% interest, but I paid that off first. So within 2 years, we're kind of grew up from my 1,200 square foot, then moved to 3,600 square foot. And then my 3rd year, we got the first MD, then up to 15 employees. And of course that blossomed. I mean, things that we were started doing PI back in the 90s, before many of you were born. And, and then we could market to police stations, literally go get accident reports. I mean, not crazy or what, but it was legal. You could go get them. And then we had marketing people to call them. Then they would come in the office. I would take pictures of an x-ray before and after. So I'd show what a normal curve is and what their curve is. I said, now here's option A. Option A, you can come in, we can work on you. And here's some pictures before and after. We help get rid of pain. We help them get their curve back in. Option B is don't do anything. And then come back in 6 months, we'll take another x-ray to see if it's but you're still going to be in pain. You're still going to, so I kind of gave them the 2 options, and 99% everybody wanted to get out of pain. Then of course I was able to refer those to attorneys, and then of course attorneys referred me, 50, 75 new PI patients a month. That was pretty great. And of course, those of you that know when you work with PI, there's liens, working with attorneys, and sometimes they cut your fees. You got to be careful what you do, and you got to work with a medical doctor, get a second opinion, because for some reason the courts or the defense, they don't think as chiropractor we know anything. So it's a game. It's just a game that you have to play. So you have to find a good medical doctor that can speak your lingo, right? And then we would market attorneys. I had literally a professional golfer that was a patient of mine, and he would go out and we would go golfing once a week to attorneys' offices around the city. So I got to go once on Thursdays. We go out on Thursdays, and that's when you did get a lot of business done. You know, a lot of business is being done on a golf course. You probably all heard that before. So these are all things you had to do to maintain that level of where I was at. Um, so just like I said, new patients were up to 100, 125 a month, new personal injury patients. And, you know, if you're at least $3,000, you know, in PIPs, called PIP here, but we were billing out probably $6,000 to $8,000. So just at 3,000, you know, there's your 300,000 a month right there. Then that didn't include the other, because we were 100% insurance. So then we hired some consultants to come to our office, because I noticed that doctors were doing more and more and more. So I hired consultants, and sometimes for 3 to 4 days coming into my office, charging $3,500 a day, 13 to 15,000 per week. Every 6 weeks they would come in. Now you're thinking, who'd want to spend 15,000 a week to have a consultant come in to help you? Well, if you're generating 700,000 a month, 15,000 is nothing. So anybody who complains about spending money on marketing doesn't deserve any new patients. So you figure 10% you should put. So if you want to do 100,000 a month, you should at least put 10,000 a month in marketing. Okay. And whether it's ad spend, Facebook's, you know, paying somebody like Proactive, that we'll talk about in a minute here. Because I was spending 15,000 a week just or a month in ads, in TV, and you know, doing newspaper and TV ads. You know, back in the day when, you know, had news channels coming in, not news, but the local channels come in and we did the B-roll where they would film, and then they would have me on camera and say, okay, ready, like action. Then I'd have to do a commercial. That was, yeah. I wish I would have saved some bloopers. Then I could have had those bloopers, you know, for when I was trying to do a commercial. But it was fun. So then 5 years into the practice, I started another office. So east side, west side. So a lot of you know, when you live in an area, you know, people on this side are not going to go this side, and so forth. 16 people. I had a call center, 30 employees, like I said, in my marketing. Others were out there doing marketing, like doing screenings, mall kiosks. Like when you go to mall and they have those things in the middle of the aisle, you know, maybe we're doing a feel-good vibratory massage. So here, if you want a free 15-minute or free 10-minute vibratory massage, fill this form out. They fill the form out, and then you can ask them, hey, do you have any pain anywhere in your back, your neck, or whatever? And they fill that out, and you capture their lead, you capture their information, and then they get a free vibratory massage on a seated massage chair. And so you have these two massage therapists working all day, getting hundreds of leads. And what do you do with those leads? We're going to call them and follow them up and say, hey, we understand that you came to one of our booths in the mall and it said that you have some back pain. We'd like to schedule you to come in to have a consultation for back pain. It's almost like Facebook in a sense. You're getting leads. Remember, you're getting leads. But back in the day, it was more physical, you know, face-to-face kind of a thing, getting leads. But it worked. You know, getting you know, over 1,000 leads a month. Now, of course, you did double truck ads. That was two pages. Like I was the first one in Utah to have a full page ad in Yellow Pages. And then I actually was the first one to have two, one on this side, one on this side. When they open it up, it covers both sides. One was strictly personal injury, and one was more like the pain management area. Now, again, if they came in, they'd have to have a level of pain level 5 or more in order for us to accept them as a patient. Because I'm not going to have somebody that's a 1 or 2. Because we could have had a lot more patients, but we said you got to have at least a pain level of 5. And so if we're generating 250, 300 new patients a month, you know, it was a big deal. But things are changing, right? So it takes money to get patients to make money. So if you say you want to generate, like say 50,000, you need to spend 10 to 15% of marketing, 5 to 10,000 a month. This is a fact. You got to think about this. And if you don't have money to market, get a second mortgage on your house, sell a car, sell your Harley, you know, do something. There are people out there, you can go to a bank and then you can get a loan. Sometimes it's secured, sometimes it's unsecured. You can go get a loan for some working capital so you can invest in marketing, because if you do it the right way, you're going to make ROI that pretty easy. I remember Groupons, you know, Groupon, you know, years ago, 10, 12 years ago, maybe 13 years ago, I made 40,000 in one day. That was when it was like new. I was doing some weight loss. I had a machine, one of the first diode laser machines for, you know, 680 bought, but only like 120 actually redeemed it, because you can buy it, but most people that bought Groupon never redeemed it. Okay. Newspaper ads, you know, back when people actually read the newspaper, you know, and who's reading the newspaper? Old people. So that's why we were able to do the neuropathy. Now that was costing me about 15,000 a month. Nowadays, I tried I tried newspaper in 2020, 2021. The newspapers here, there's two ones. One's liberal, one's, yeah, not so liberal, or one's conservative. Um, and they only do it once a week. One's a Friday and one's a Sunday. So I tried that, even though you can get a half page ad for like, $1,000. It worked a little bit, but it wasn't working because I wanted to test it again. And so I stopped doing that because it wasn't working. So um, 13 years ago, I thought, because social media started becoming a thing. So we had a couple employees that I guess were like millennials, and they kind of knew about computers and stuff. And so they were getting into this, this social media thing. And so I started spending about $2,000 a month generating leads. And I was getting the same amount of leads is when I was spending 15,000. So I'm thinking, hey, that's a good deal. So it was great because, then we were coaching other doctors. So we coached these, like I said, 2,500 clinics. And so we have our social media people coaching other doctors. So we had them, we took the top 25 clinics that wanted to do the social media that we were doing for them in our office. So we did that, and that worked really well. And then of course the people who were working that had moved, the main person moved out of state. She actually moved out of the country. And so she was great. So then we had to find new people. And then I decided so I sold my practice in 2017, because I was traveling around teaching, lecturing all over the world about the gut-brain connection from pain management, neuropathy, diabetes, and weight loss. 2020 happened, and no one's traveling. I'm thinking, okay, what do I do? So I have a friend here in town I've known for 30 years, and he had a big space. So I said, hey, can I come in here, maybe see some patients, some old patients, for maybe 3 months? Well, it's been 3 years. So I've been there for 3 years. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to start doing some more marketing. So I tried the newspaper. I tried some local ESPN sports radio for pain management, back pain, and neuropathy, and things like this. And then I found this other company. There's a friend of mine who owns like 12 dealerships in Utah, car dealerships. And I said, hey, who do you guys do your marketing, your social media marketing? So he told me about this company. And so I called them, went out there. They had all these trophies. They looked pretty impressive. And so I wanted to get some good SEO, good placements on the first page. And I was spending about $7,500 a month. I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Again, you spend money to make money. So I did this for 6 months, spent almost $50,000. Guess how many leads I got? Zero. And they would tell me, oh, hey, we checked it. You're getting a lot of people. You get a lot of looks, but nobody was clicking. I had no leads for us to follow up on, to call. And I thought, okay, am I an idiot here? So I stopped that. I dumped that so fast. I thought, I'm stupid for that. So what do I do? So somehow I got some information from Proactive, and I had an onboarding call with them, with Andreas, and hey, it was a free Zoom call. You have nothing to lose, right? And so he kind of showed me some of the things, and it was much cheaper than what I was spending. I'm thinking, well, and it's month to month. So I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Let's sure, why not? I got nothing else I'm doing right now, because I'm trying the magic, the vein, that vein to get some good leads in. So the first day, I think I got like 6 leads, and I was thinking, okay, this is the thing. This is actually something that is actually going to work. And so after we did weight loss, neuropathy, decompression, pain management, I'm just like, what the heck? This is working. Spending a fraction of what I did the year before. And then I had great trainers. And so they have great trainers there, Proactive. You can see on the bottom there. And they have this thing called Slack channel. And you could text them. It's like their texting platform. You text them, and you have 1 or 2 different or 3 different people who can answer your questions. Every time you ask them a question, they'll help you. So to me, it's all about service. It's all about being able to be there, answer your question, because a lot of doctors, this is new to them. Even though this wasn't new to me, I still had some questions, and I still had to get some answers. And even though I still have great trainers, I still am in touch with them like weekly, and I have these great trainers that because we change up the ads. So there's things that you can do. You work with them. The thing about Proactive is they will have this metrics that they use to show, okay, here's advertisement A, and A is generating leads, and it's costing you, $12 to $16 a lead. Then if it goes up to like maybe $20, $25 a lead, then they let you know, and then they recommend, hey, let's do another video. So you do like a under 1 minute video, you post that video, you just do it from like a Droid phone, do it landscape, you do that. I just did one last week, a new one. And then they work with that and they put in script because when people are working, they're on social media, they're not supposed to be on social media. And so they're going to see an ad for pain chiropractic or whatever, and they're going to have it all transcribed so they can actually be there at work and not have it on and be able to read what you're saying. So if, I can help you with what I feel like is a good video. If you ever want some help with how to make some good videos, whether it's decompression or whatever. Anyway, it was great. And so I wanted to know everything about how their system worked and not just give it to an employee. So I actually started doing the calls myself because, there's a lot of new online virtual doctors. You can talk to a doctor, call this number and you can actually talk to a doctor. So I'm thinking that's kind of a thing now. So I call these patients, these leads, and they're kind of like, you can tell they're kind of shocked that a doctor's calling them. But at the same time, I think they're like, wow, I've never had this happen. So when they're doing something that they've never had happen, that they're excited about that, because I wanted to see how the system worked. So I called the leads for weight loss and neuropathy and scheduled more new potentials than the years before with only 2 employees. And so then I turned over. So my ROI, I can see the big ROI on this. And each time again I had a question, I would ask them, and then within an hour they would answer my question. So I thought this is the mother lode, that I was looking for, somehow getting a response. So now I'm getting like 15, 25 leads weekly, very busy, but it was fun scheduling potential patients into the office. So, what you do if a doctor called you after you filled it out, you'd be like pretty interested, right? So I was just in here. It's a Saturday. This past Saturday, I was working on this PowerPoint and the phone rings. Hey, hello, Dr. Singleton. And there's a pause. And they're like, and I go, you're a little shocked that a doctor would answer this phone. She's like, yeah. So then I was able to start, the phone call and find out what was going on with her. And I was able to schedule her. So like Saturday, I scheduled 3 calls because I was able to answer the phone. Because Saturday, when they see the lead, when they see in Facebook, they see that Saturdays are a better day to actually answer, because you're going to, on your phone, you're going to see proactive in marketing. You're getting a phone call from a new person that just filled out the voucher and they just clicked on the link and all of a sudden the phone's ringing. So you answer that. But during the week, you're not going to probably have anybody answer the phone when they call. So sometimes we need to do different things, different at time, because times change and people can call and talk to doctors, like I said earlier, and prescribe meds, literally. Do you even have anyone answer your phones after hours? So I know some doctors have an auto or a voicemail, but you need to really have somebody answer the phone. Like, how much revenue are you losing? So in my clinic, we forward the phones, or I actually take the phone sometime, but I also have another employee that takes the phone. So anytime somebody calls the office, it actually goes to a live body, somebody who knows what's going on, not just a call center. Oh, we'll take your information, we'll give that back to the clinic. No, because remember, it's friction. They want to know, can you help my pain? I've been to other doctors and they haven't been able to help me. Can you help me? Well, just let me tell you about Dr. Smith. Dr. Smith does blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. And he's helped thousands of patients get that pain. So let us schedule you in. In fact, let me see. We have 2 appointments on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday. What works better for you, morning or afternoon? So you want to get them scheduled right then and there. And they're actually talking to, somebody from your office. Well, have you seen people that this actually works? You know what? I'm in the clinic every day and I've seen so many people come in limping and actually walking out the same day without back pain. So now they're getting a testimonial from your staff person. So you pay the staff person $10 a call. And if they schedule somebody, you give them another $10 or $20. So a little incentive there. They love that. Okay. And then all the things you have to do if you're doing SEO stuff, that's a whole nother thing, because Google changes all the time. But you need to know what's going on. So Proactive will give you all your metrics. So they'll actually show you the leads. And so what I've done is I've taken the lead and I have the lead column, and because you can customize this, and I put first call, second call, third call, and then a column called contact and no appointment yet. There's still a warm lead. Okay, we're going to talk about that. So either you have more money or time on your hands. So I was talking to a doctor Monday, and I said, so doc, who's going to be doing the calling? Because you're going to need somebody after 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night, because that's when you're going to get people home. Those are the people that actually work, that actually have money to come in and do programs, or actually can have insurance to come in. So I'm going to do it. I said, good, because you need to do this for like the first month or 2 or 3 until you get it, and so you can actually help train somebody else. Okay. years ago when I was doing my survey, my friends, they always say, well, I'd never go to the doctor. I would never go door to door. So some doctors are like, oh, I'm a doctor. I would never do that. Right? Serious? Then you're going to be working at Walmart. Um, all those colleagues are not practicing. All my friends that said I would never do that, they're not practicing anymore because they weren't willing to do the hard work because they were doctors, right? People don't want to hear that crap. Well, I'm a doctor. I don't do that. I don't stoop below. You're marketing. You market at home to your kids. You market to your wife. If you want something from your wife, you're marketing. There's things that you can do to market to get what you want, right? Same thing with your kids. So 90% again is your marketing. Now, with all the 2,500 plus doctors I've coached, we're doing very well with weight loss and neuropathy. We'd usually have a staff person run the whole operation. And the problem is that when that staff person left, the weight loss or that part of the business went down because the doctor didn't know. He didn't own it. So proactive marketing allows you to change your campaign. So like I will run decompression for 3 months, then I'll do neuropathy and some weight loss and some pain management, like my pain management, because I can do ozone injections, PRP. So I show them how I can do pain management. And I have some video testimonials of people coming in, they can't raise their arm like here. Then after one treatment, they're raising their arm here. So, pre and post video testimonials are really great. And again, spinal decompression. So I'll show you how to do, if you want help showing how to do a video with spinal decompression, somebody actually is on the table getting the relief. Again, I've tried different social media, even with proactive. I thought, well, let me try, because they say, hey, I'll give you 30 new patients in 30 days. If you don't, money back. They were horrible. They were horrible. They had I would try to ask them questions within 1 to 3 days. They would get back to me via email. No, no, I don't think so. So we have a phone. I carry the office phone. Linda has her phone. She has her laptop throughout the day. But we call these people, at the end of the day. Like I said earlier, I have a column proactive put in there, a first column, second column, a third column. So move them from here to here to here. Try to keep calling it. And I'm going to show you some secrets that I've actually developed. And I have them call between 5 to 8 o'clock at night. So the doctor, I had just a quick story. One of the doctors I was coaching had an employee call within 5 minutes because they got the lead. Well, she didn't get anything because she was calling during the day. Again, you got to call after night, between 5 to 7 at night. I've trained staff to call after night, even on Saturdays. If you have time, we need to get you due on Saturdays. So we try 3 to 4 times, and then you move them into what's called contact, no appointment. And now I have a secret weapon. So I have somebody, if you really want to know my secret weapon, I have somebody who can actually call at night, and they don't live here in America. And they're amazing. So they can actually call at night and they're booking like crazy. So it's all about follow up. So important. So proactive also has a system to schedule their leads and with reminders. So they have a calendar in there to put them in there. I'll show you how to use that. And then the patient will get a reminder to remind them of that appointment. And then when you have downtime, you can also go in and get the contact, again, this contact, no appointment. And then we call and remind them to visit before. If you need to reschedule, and I even tell them, by keeping your appointment, I'm going to give you a bottle of my B12 because, most of you need energy. So this is a sublingual methylcobalamin that they put under their tongue. And then when they come in, we give them a bottle of this because they met their appointment. So when we have a patient, finish your program, if you get any success stories, a while ago, I did a webinar on Sotellus. It's a platform to get reviews, to get Google reviews, which is very, very important. So what I do is anybody who has, hey, you know what, I'm not going to need surgery. Hey, I can walk better. I can, go up the stairs. Like just yesterday, a patient came in, I treated her knees and I said, let me know. So she walked upstairs. I always have pain walking upstairs. She texted me back. She says, I don't have pain anymore in my knee. I mean, things like that. So post a review. So then you can tell other patients what's going on. And then you get a video review when they come in. From weight loss, for whatever you do in your clinic, you're going to be successful and you want to capture those leads and you want to capture that testimonial. And if you do this, if you send out these emails and texts I'm going to show you, you're going to get, even if it's a 10% response, and if you sell programs, that's going to generate income. And remember, they're all warm leads. They're not cold leads because these people were the ones that reached out. Warm leads are easy to work with than cold ones. So I have a caller ID that says, who it is, me. We even have a tickler to follow up with these programs. And then you can even call. So I'm telling you, in the last 6 months, I found it even more beneficial to call from the proactive software because on the top right-hand corner, there's a phone. You call from your laptop and it records your conversation. So if you have a staff member calling the leads, it'll actually record the conversation between your staff member and that potential patient. So that's how you manage and make sure the patient's answering the question, or your staff members answering the right question. So you can go back and listen to the 2 to 5 to 6 minute phone call, how they did. And if you need to help them, if you need to kind of more, coach them, it's there. You got the information there on the proactive software. Again, follow it. It's all about follow up, follow up, follow up. And sometimes you get a no-show, but sometimes the no-shows have like yesterday, I had 2 no-shows because one lady was up all night with her son sick. He was puking. We got him rescheduled. So don't worry if it's a no-show or they can't make their appointment. Again, they're still a warm lead. And then you have different columns that you put the patients in, and you can customize the columns with Proactive however you want them, so you can kind of see what you're doing, what works for you. Now, this is an email. So now what I'm doing is I send out an email, and there's a way to send out an email. This is on neuropathy. So I'll send this email out talking about the fact that, this is not good, that you have neuropathy. So this gives them a little information. And I tell them, that I'm going to send you a text. So then here's what I do. I send this email with the Proactive platform, and then I go in 5 to 10 minutes later and I send them a text. So the text is this. If you see this down to it's called SMS, we'll talk about the health issues to show them how we can help. And if they wait, it's going to cost them more money if we're doing decompression. But down here in the underline, this is what I sent out as a text. So I said, basically, your feet, blah, 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 neuropathy. And then there's a link here, diabetesjournals.org, that actually shows them that if their feet are cold, guess what? They have a higher chance of getting amputations. So don't wait any longer. Come in, let's scan your toes. And that's what it's going to look like. You have cold toes. And I'll exactly tell you the temperature of your toes. And there's another website for me. So I'll send that out. And then I said, I'm going to call you. Check out the email. Check out the email that I just sent you. So I'm going to send out the email, and then I'm going to send out the text. So they actually get them bam, bam, because 10 to 14% are going to open up an email. 90+% are going to see a text. And then here's some marketing I use for back pain. 6 consequences of untreated back pain that's going to cost you more money down the road. So there's all these things, all these ways to benefit you from using the Proactive platform. The one doctor actually has in his office, his call center person that works from 3 to 9 every day. This is her office, and she makes about $80,000 a year as a telemarketer. Remember, 90% is marketing. So you need to treat your telemarketers. You need to pay them to be able to get patients in, because those patients are gold. So you need to keep your list sacred, and you can follow up with them, because sometimes it can take up to 6 months to get them into your office, because things happen, life happens. They wanted to come in for some pain thing, and then family came into town, or a mother died, or father died, or whatever. Things just happen. So you need to keep sending out, I send out weekly emails and texts. Okay, so you guys be there, keep your herd, keep your herd in your corral. And that's how we get them to say, okay, I'm ready now. Yesterday, two patients called me. I haven't heard from them for 3 months, and now they say, I'm ready to come in. I got a new job and I'm making more money now. I mean, stuff like that. So anyway, thanks for your attention and time. Hope it wasn't too fast, but you can go through this again. If you want more health and tips, I'd love to help you. I'd love to show you more, but this is something that we're gonna record this, and you're gonna have access to this, and you're gonna want to have an onboarding call with Proactive.